Today we have with us senior advocate Rafiq Dada. Sir, how was your discussion with Maharaj ji and what are your views about his legal ideology?
See, I had a exhilarating experience. I don't think there was a better way to spend a Sunday. It's though the marathon was on and I was hung up on seeing it, but I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed this very much. And as throughout my life, always look for a learning experience. This was a great learning experience.
Sir, it was a very enriching discussion on fundamental rights. Do you think fundamental rights remain meaningful if duties are enforced more strongly than limits on state power?
No, I believe that fundamental rights are required to be strictly enforced. And the power of the state cannot be used to deprive people of fundamental rights. But as I mentioned, that fundamental duties which have been introduced are very, very important because it is with fundamental duties that citizens will learn to respect other citizens, will learn to do whatever is required of them for the enhancement of the state. And so it's both required for the country and for the other fellow men. So fundamental duties also are a wonderful concept, which have, as you know, it's not in any constitution in the world, but Japan is one of the countries which has introduced it. China is introducing it. Russia is introducing it. So this is something, an experience like this, a conference like this, helps people to understand what is fundamental duties and how best they can follow it and, help to enhance the status of the country.
So when law intersects with technology, ecology, and belief, is judicial interpretation expanding constitutional reach or stretching it beyond its source of authority?
See, I don't believe that there is any judicial overreach so far. Uh, Judiciary, by and large, has been very restrained. And I'm not saying this because I want to praise the judges or praise the lawyers, but it's a very tough task for the judges. It's a Herculean task for the judges. Most of the judges work beyond office hours. A lady judge who just became the Chief Justice of Meghalaya, Justice Moite Dere, told us that she left the court every day at 9:30. So there is no judicial overreach. But sometimes a judge has to go strongly after the executive when he finds great injustice because it's an unequal battle. Sometimes there's a small man knocking the doors of the court and he has waited years and years for justice. Suppose it's a criminal who's in jail who probably believes that he hasn't done anything, but he takes years to get justice. So those are the cases where judges do come strongly.
Yes.
By and large, I feel that the judiciary has stood up to whatever the values are there in the Constitution.
So is the Constitution flexible enough to address challenges posed by AI, environmental harm, and religious regulation during this Sankraman Kal?
Well, the Constitution has certain values which require interpretation, and just as the country is changing, the law will have to change in a changing society. So it's the interpretation of the Constitution which will be required. And I think the judges have to stand up to sometimes a violation of fundamental rights, which is seen because the judge looks at it as as a judge, but the executive has his own compulsion in making a law. So a balancing has to be required. And that's where the test of a good judiciary comes in.
I'll come to a short rapid fire where I'll expect an instant answer.
Yeah.
Rights as shields or responsibilities too?
Rights is both responsibility and a shield.
State power expanding or rights evolving?
I think rights should evolve.
Constitutional morality leading or political morality dominating?
I think political morality is dominating because the strength of the executive always dominates.
Judicial restraint or judicial assertiveness?
I think judicial restraint is always a better bet.
Duties clarifying rights or confusing them?
Confusion is not possible unless one wants it. I think it does clarify rights.